So we are looking at scales and then key signatures, the last part of scales, then key signatures and keys. Then we'll look at intervals, and then we will look at tonic triads, and then we will have completed our terms and signs by today. Remember, we have been looking at several terms and signs during our lessons, and as usual, we are going to start with the terms and signs for today. So we have several terms today to complete our set of grade 1 terms and signs. We have cantabile, meaning in a singing style. Da capo is go back to the beginning. If you see DC or da capo, it means go back to the beginning of a piece or song. Dolce means sweet. Fine or fine means end. And legato does not mean slow. Legato means smoothly. Legato means smoothly. And then we have these symbols. Look at the symbols. We have this thing that looks like an eye. It can face up or down. It means pause on the note or rest. When you find this mark, you pause or you prolong that note that you are singing or playing. And then we have this crochet equals 80. It can be anything. It can be crochet equals 60, crochet equals 120, minim equals 60, minim equals 140. Whatever it is, as long as it's a note and then equals and then a number, this is a metronome mark. It tells you the speed of the song, how fast or slow the song is to be done. And so this metronome mark specifically that we have here today means that you play the music at 80, not 60, at 80 crochet beats per minute. So, and then we have this sign that looks like an arrow pointing forward, a small one. It should be above or below the head of a note, and that means that accent on that note. Accent that note. Play with emphasis. And then on the right side we have this pin. It means crescendo, gradually getting louder. We did crescendo before, but we did the word crescendo, not the sign, the symbol. This symbol means crescendo, or gradually getting louder. And then this one means diminuendo, gradually getting quieter. If you look at these pins, they are literal in their shape. This one starts from thin to wide, meaning starting from quiet to loud gradually. This one starts from thick to thin, meaning getting from loud to quiet gradually. And then we have this curved line that connects two notes that are different. Two different notes, and notes which are not, it can also connect notes which are not together. It's a slur. It means perform the notes smoothly. A slur, perform the notes smoothly. It has the same meaning as legato. And then we have two notes that are the same connected with a curved line. This is a tie. We did ties last lesson, and it means hold for the value of the two notes. And then a dot above a note or below a head of a note means staccato. And staccato means detached. You have heard musicians saying staccato, staccato. It means detached. And then we have these marks here, double barline with two dots and double barline with two dots facing the other side. These marks means that you repeat the section between the two marks. Repeat the section between the two marks. Now I want you to go back to the PDFs that I have sent to you. Look at all the terms and learn them, because they usually carry more than 10 marks, and that is a difference between distinction and merit. So make sure you go through them and learn them. Now we're going to look at G major scale, D major scale, and F major scale. Last time we looked at C major scale. Today is G, D, and F. So the scales of G, D, and F major all follow the pattern of tones and semitones, just as C major. Someone has not muted. Evelyn, good morning.
Morning.
Okay, welcome.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
So the pattern that we learned earlier is tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. That is the pattern we learned in the C major scale. Now the same pattern should be followed with the scale of G, D, and F. And let's look at the G major scale. The G major scale looks like this: G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G. Now you may ask, why is there an F sharp here? Why is there an F sharp here instead of just having G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G? So this is the point. We need the same pattern that we learned in the scale of C: tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. And so the reason we have F sharp here is because to make this pattern of tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone, we must have an F sharp. If this was F natural, then it means between the 6th and the 7th degree, we would be having a semitone. If you see here, the image of the piano on the top right, E to F is a semitone. But we need a tone from the 6th to the 7th degree. And the 6th and 7th degree of G is E and F. So by sharpening F, we get two semitones. And that is E to F a semitone, F to F sharp another semitone, which fulfills the tone that we need here on the 6th and 7th degree. And then now from the F sharp to G, we will have the normal semitone that we need. So by sharpening the F, we fulfill the tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone requirement of a major scale. Anyone with a question on this? Is anything not clear? You better ask a question, because I'm going to choose someone to ask in the next slide if you have not got anything. Anne Mokundi, are you okay?
Kindly, may you repeat?
Which area?
The F sharp area, why we have it.
Okay, the F sharp we have because don't mute. I want to communicate with you. So do you see that E to F is a semitone? Do you agree that?
Yeah.
Okay, and you look at the letters G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. In the scale of G, do you see that from E to F is the 6th and the 7th degree of the G major?
Yes.
And you are aware that in the 6th and 7th degree we need a tone, not a semitone.
Okay.
But what we have in E and F is a semitone. So you remember that question that when I was asking you, what will you do to the second note to make this interval a tone or a semitone in the quiz that we did earlier? Now this is the same case here. So from E to F is a semitone. How do we get a tone from E? By going 2 steps, is that right? So E to F and then F to F sharp. So by sharpening F, we have a tone between E and F, and that is what we need.
All right.
Does it make sense now?
Yeah, it is.
And then now from F sharp to G will be a semitone, and we need a semitone at the end, so we don't need to do anything else.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you. Evelyn, are you okay? Have you understood?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go to the next D major. Now this is D major. I want Evelyn to tell me, where are we sharpening the C here? Where is the 7th C in the scale of D? Because D, we start from D and we end at D. And D is our first, the tonic. D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. So we know why we sharpened F sharp earlier is because we need a tone. So Evelyn, are you able to tell if it's the same thing that is happening here between the 6th and the 7th degree?
Yes, I think we are sharpening it so that we can get a tone.
Exactly. And that is the idea. We need 2 sharps for the scale of D And that is why we have F sharp and C sharp, because we need a tone between E and F, and we have to sharpen the F. We need a tone between B and C, that's why we're sharpening C. So this is how it is in the E and F, that's just as we saw earlier. And then the D major scale will also need another sharp on C, because B to C on the piano is a semitone. So we sharpen the C as seen. Now, I want to ask Solomon to unmute. So Solomon, I want you to tell me why we have a B flat here on the 4th degree of the F major. Why do you think we have a flat here? Solomon, yes? Okay, go on. Okay, sorry Solomon, I think your network is low. I can't hear you. Mary Moore, are you able to answer this? Why do we have a B flat on the 4th degree?
I would say
Sorry?
I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
to flatten the semitone to make a tone.
What do we need between the 3rd and the 4th degree? Because actually this is happening on the 3rd and 4th degree. What do we usually need between the 3rd and 4th degree? Is it a tone or a semitone?
It's a semitone.
It's a semitone. And what is usually the distance between A and B? Between A and B, what do we usually have? A to B. Here is a picture of a piano at the top. What do we usually have between A and B? Is it a tone or a semitone?
A semitone.
A to B on the piano.
On the piano.
Yeah.
A tone.
It's usually a tone. But between the 3rd and the 4th degree, we need a semitone for every scale. So to get a semitone between the 3rd and the 4th degree, we have to flatten the 4th in order to find a semitone. Otherwise, this would make a tone and it will go against our pattern of tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. So in order to have this pattern, we flatten the 4th degree, which is B, so that we have A to B flat, a semitone. A to B flat. Is it making sense?
Yes.
Yeah, so we need a semitone. That's why we flatten B. And then now from B flat to C will now be a tone, because from B flat to B is a semitone, and then from B to C is another semitone. So that's why we need a flat on the B. I hope this makes sense to everyone. So let us review. What is the letter name? I want somebody to unmute. I want Ann Mokundi, kindly unmute. So this is the scale of G major. Just very simple question. What is the first and the last degree of the scale?
What is the
Which letter? Which letter name? Is it A, B, C, D, E, F, G?
degree? It's what is the letter name of the first and the last degree? It's G.
It's G. And then what is why is F raised to F sharp?
We raise F to get a semitone.
A tone. We raise to get a tone. Okay. So which note is the 3rd degree of G major?
B.
Correct. Which note is the 7th degree of G major?
F sharp.
F sharp. Correct. So Evelyn, kindly unmute. Thank you, Anne. So Evelyn, let's answer the following question. What is the letter name of the first and last degree of the scale of D major?
It's the D. The D.
D. Why is the C raised to C sharp?
So that we can get a semitone.
We can get a tone. We need a tone between a tone between the 6th and the 7th. And then which note is the 5th degree of D major?
The
A, correct. And then which note is the 2nd degree of the D major?
the E.
E, correct. How many sharps does the scale of D major have?
It has 2.
2 sharps, correct. Thank you so much. And I want Mary Moore to unmute. We are reviewing these. So what is the letter name of the first and last degree of the scale of F major, Mary?
F.
F, correct. Why is the B flattened to B flat?
To make a tone.
To make a semitone, because this is different from the others. The others we were sharpening to make a tone. This one we are flattening. Imagine you have 2 bars close to each other and you are moving the second one further. That is sharpening. If you move it closer, you are flattening. So we are whenever you flatten to get a semitone. But when you sharpen to make a tone. Is it making sense?
Okay. Yes.
Which note is the 4th degree of F major?
B flat.
B flat. Which note is the 6th degree?
D.
D. How many sharps does the scale of F major have?
8.
Sharps. How many sharps?
I'm not sure.
The sharps are the one things that looks like a hash. Accidentals. You remember us doing accidentals?
I was not in the class, but yes, I read about it.
But you passed the test, which means you know accidentals.
Yes.
The accidentals are the ones we were talking about, sharpening to make it bigger or flattening to make the interval smaller.
Yeah.
Sharps and flats. So the answer is the key of F major does not have any sharp. It has 1 flat on the B flat. So there is no sharps.
Yeah.
And then how many semitones does this? Sorry?
Yes. No, it's okay.
Okay, how many semitones does the scale of F major have? So every major scale has got 2 semitones. Every major scale, no matter the key. Between the 3rd and the 4th degree, 7th and 8th degree. Remember when you said tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. And every major key should follow that pattern. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Let's look at these. You will get this in the test. So let me see if Solomon can answer these. Which degree of D major is this note? I can't hear Solomon. Ann Mokundi, which degree of D major?
D major.
So the first thing you may ask yourself is that which letter is it? What is the name of that note?
That's what I'm trying to count. G. G. May someone else help me kindly.
So how do you say the names of the lines of the G clef?
We have the first line, B.
Sorry?
It's B.
The
B.
first line of the G clef.
B. Yes.
You are counting backwards, but you are counting the letters forward. So when you go down, you go backwards the letter, as in G, and then the space below it will be F, and then the line below it will be E. So if you want to remember the lines of the G clef, say every good boy deserves fun. The lines of the G clef. And then the spaces of the G clef spell the word face. Do you remember saying that?
Yes, I do.
So if you spell the word face on the spaces, which will be this space that we have here with a sharp?
Fourth.
This is the
fourth degree.
D major. It's not the fourth degree. Maybe you are saying the fourth degree of G major, but this is not G major. I'm asking which degree of D. Where is D? Okay, first of all, which letter is this?
A C sharp.
C sharp. And in the scale of D, can you start counting your fingers? D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. And tell me which degree you will find your C.
Fourth degree.
Starting from D.
Oh, from D, sorry. Yeah, fourth degree.
Can you count aloud from D as you count your fingers? Say D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. And then counting your fingers.
Okay, D, E, F, G, A, B, C.
There is C. Which degree is that?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7th degree.
Yes, it's the 7th degree. That's how you solve this question.
Okay.
It's the 7th degree. And then let me hear Evelyn. Which degree of G major is this?
G major.
Yeah, so this letter E, what is the name of this letter first?
F.
F sharp.
The
F sharp.
sharp, yes.
So starting from G, count and tell me which degree of the scale it is.
The second.
No. Count from G.
G.
Yes, count your
G?
fingers from G.
Okay. G, A, G.
Which degree is F sharp?
8th degree.
8th degree will be G again.
G.
Yeah, the 8th degree should be the same as the first. Count well.
Okay. Really? I'm supposed to count it with G.
Yes.
G. G, A, B, C, D, E, F.
Yeah, there we have F sharp. F ni namba ngapi?
Oh, the 7th.
Yes, it's the 7th degree. Correct. And the same way you will tackle all the other questions, and then this is the 3rd degree of, the 6th degree of C major, because it's A, B, C, D, E, F, C, D, E, F, G, A, the 6th degree. And then we have this as the 4th degree of F major. Because of time, you're not going to look at all of them, but you all have idea of how you're going to count. So this is again the 3rd degree of the D major, because we have D, E, F sharp. D, E, F sharp, the 3rd degree of D major. Now let's look at these. Which key is the scale above in? Solomon, if you can hear me. Which key is this scale in? The tip is look at the first and the last degree, and look at the number of sharps. Solomon ameenda. Ann Mokundi,
Yes, teacher.
which key is this scale in based on the first and the last note and the number of sharps?
G sharp. G major scale, sorry.
G major scale. Remember we said any scale has to start with the letter name and end with the letter name. Does this one start and end with G?
No, it starts with a D.
So it's not a G major scale.
So it's a D major scale.
Yes, it has to start and end with that note. So it's a D major and it's a descending scale. It's descending from D down to D.
Okay, it's like I got it wrong as you were explaining on the D major scale. As on my notes, the notes I'm taking, I've written that in a D major scale, yeah, it has two sharps and a flattened B.
A flattened
Is
B
that
is
correct?
for F. A flattened B is for F major.
Okay,
It's
okay.
F major, yeah, not for D. This one has two sharps. You can see it has a C sharp and an F sharp, so
Yeah.
it's a D major scale.
Thank you.
The-
That is what was confusing me.
Yeah, so the F major is the one that has a B flat. So let's look at keys and key signature. So we said earlier that we have learned the scales of C, G, D, and F, and each of these scales contain all the notes that belong in that key. Those notes zenye tumeziona, what we have seen is that for D it has D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. Those are the notes for that key. So each key has its own tonic, and the tonic is the name of that key. For example, the key of F has F as its tonic. And D, the tonic of D major is D. The tonic of F major is F. So a melody that is written in a particular key, say G major, uses notes from that scale of that key. So if you have a melody in the key of F major, we expect it to have B flat because B flat is part of that key. Now each key has its unique features, and the number of accidentals is what specifically identifies a key. So G has one sharp, D has two sharps, F has one flat, C has got no sharps and no flats. So this is what we usually use to determine which key we are looking at. So look at this melody, and Evelyn, kindly tell me which key do you think this melody is in? Is it F major, G major, D major, or C major? Evelyn?
It has a flat. I think it's the D major.
D major has got which accidentals?
The D major. Oh, it has a sharp.
It has a flat. It has one flat. You're right.
Yes.
So which key has got one flat?
It's the F.
F major. You're right. The F has B flat. And what about this one? It has got no sharps and no flats. Which key is it in? Evelyn?
C.
C major. You're right. So kindly this one more. Which key is this one in? How many sharps can you see, Evelyn? Okay, so we can see 3, but are they really 3? Can you tell me the first one? The first one is which letter?
The first one is
Remember the lines of is every good boy deserves fun, and the spaces spell the word face.
every.
But this one is on the space. The first one is on the space. The first space is letter.
The first one is in the F sharp.
F sharp. And then the second one, remember the spaces spell the word face.
Okay. F sharp. And then the second one is on the G.
G, are you sure? I mean the second sharp. The second sharp that we have.
The second sharp is on the C.
Yes, it's on C, you're right. And then
Yes.
the last one at the top, remember the lines spell the word, mnemonics are every good boy deserves favor or fun.
Every good boy deserves fun. F.
It's F. So the first one and the last one are the same.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
So we only have two sharps.
Two sharps.
Yes. So which key is this one?
I think it's the G.
How many sharps does G have?
2.
No.
No, it's not the G. It's not the F, and it's the C.
C does not have sharps and does not have any flats.
Oh, yes. Let me.
You need to memorize this. The key that has got two sharps is D major.
Oh. Okay.
D major.
Okay. D major.
Yeah, D
Oh,
major.
yeah.
Okay. So this one is now the G major because it has one sharp on the F only. Okay. So a key signature, let's look now at key signatures now to make sense of what we have just done. A key signature is written at the start of the staff, after the clef, and before the time signature. So just after writing the clef, the G clef or bass clef, you usually have what we call the key signatures. And it tells us the key of a piece by showing which notes will be sharpened or flattened. So when you use a key signature, that means we don't have to keep writing accidentals in the song. You noticed that you couldn't even tell quickly that the first and the last notes were F sharps, because you need to start calculating every time you see a sharp or a flat. But the key signature helps in that. It helps you avoid that. Now, a sharp or a flat in key signature applies to every note of that name wherever it is on the staff, and I'm going to explain that in a moment. So the sharps and flats are written in a specific order and only on the lines or spaces with the notes that should be sharpened or flattened. Look at this key signature. Here, it's on bass clef, the treble clef, and we have it on bass clef. Now, we said the lines of the G clef are every good boy deserves fun. So this sharp is on F. This is now called a key signature. Now, when you write this in a music, you don't need to keep sharpening every F along the song. You don't need to keep sharpening every F. You just sharpen it at the key signature, and that is all. Wherever you find F, it will be sharpened. Same thing with the bass clef. So this key signature has got one sharp on F, and this key signature means that the music is in G major, because G major is the one that has one sharp on F. Now let me see if you have understood. guess the key that is represented by the key signature above, and Mokundi. This key signature has got 2 sharps on F and C. So which key is represented by this key signature?
A D major.
This is a key signature of D major. You're right. That is correct. Evelyn, try this one. Which key signature is this? Which key is this that is represented by 1 flat on B, on line B? Time is really flying, Evelyn.
Teacher, I think I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, this one is a F major.
This is F major, yeah.
I have a question based on the scale that was there, the previous scale that showed 3 sharps. It was a D major scale.
Yes.
It shows 3 sharps, of which the one not that one, the other one. No, the previous question.
This one.
Yeah, it's this one. Inaonyesha iko na 3 sharps. And finally the umetuambia the scale is on a D major scale. The D major scale has got 2 sharps.
Yes.
Hizi ni 3.
Okay, ni 3 sawa, unaona zikiwa 3. Si ndio? But the first one is F sharp and the last one is F sharp. That is the same sharp.
Okay.
Yeah, so we don't count F sharp as another F sharp. It's just F sharp and C sharp.
Okay.
Unaelewa?
Nimeelewa.
Yeah, it is just that it is F sharp and C sharp. That is the only sharps we will have. Even if we will have 100 Fs, they will all have sharps.
Okay.
And that is why we have what we call the time signature, key signature, I mean, because it helps us, it saves us the problem of writing sharps every time we have F and C. You just have it at the beginning of the music, and that is it. You don't need to mention it, to put it anywhere else.
Okay, I understand.
You understand?
Yeah, thank you.
So this is F major, and this is C major because there is no sharps and there is no flats. Now let's talk about the key signature. The key signature, this is F sharp. This is a sharp at the key signature. It means the key is G. So it means every time we have F, this is misplaced. The F should be on the second note. Every time we have F, it will be sharpened. So this second note here is F sharp, and this other note here at the bottom is also F sharp. It doesn't matter which F. As long as there is a key signature of F, every F in the music or in the melody should be sharpened. And then this is a B flat, I mean a key signature of 1 flat on B. So it means in the music, every B is called a B flat. Every B will be a B flat. And then now that we have 2 sharps here on F sharp and C sharp, it means in the melody, every C and every F will be sharpened. So this is a C sharp, this is a C sharp, and this is F sharp. Because the key signature automatically sharpens every F. It doesn't matter the bar lines or anything, the whole music. It affects the whole music. It's not limited to 1 bar like accidentals as we saw earlier. Does that make sense, Anne?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So even when we have key signature, sometimes we will have accidentals in the music. So for example, this music is D major, but the writer of the music just needs an F sharp somewhere. So they will add the accidental. This is not part of the key signature. So you may see even when you're using accidentals, I mean key signatures, you will also find accidentals sometimes in the music. So remember that accidentals last until the end of the bar. This we learned in our second lesson. When the bar line comes, every accidental dies, but not the key signature. But remember, if we have another accidental that cancels the previous accidental in the same bar, then the last accidental cancels the first one, and it affects the next accidentals that may come, the next notes that may come on the same pitch. So also remember that accidental apply only to notes of the same pitch. So for example, this is a key signature of F major, which means that every B we have is a flat. So this first B here is a B flat, and it's okay. When you come to the next bar, there is a natural here. This natural cancels the key signature flat and declares this note a B natural. And then the next B that comes in the same bar will be B natural because this accidental still has power in the same bar. So this second B will also be natural because it appears in the same bar as this other accidental and it affects it also. So what about if we wanted the second B to be a B flat instead of being affected by this? What will we do? Then what we will do is now cancel the natural using a flat. So we are saying this first B here was B natural, yes, but this second B we want it to be like the key signature. So we cancel the natural by putting the flat. Does that make sense, Anne?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so we go on the last part. We have intervals and tonic triads. Intervals and tonic triads. These are the easiest topics. And an interval measures the difference in pitch between two notes. So for example, from C to E is an interval. We use degrees of the scale to measure the intervals because between the tonic of a key and every other note in that key. So below are the intervals of the tonic, above the tonic in C major. When you look at these, we have C to D. C to D is a second. How do you know it's a second? Count C, count D. 1, 2. That's a second. C to E is a third. How do you know it's a third? Count C, count D, count E. C, D, E. That's 1, 2, 3. That's an interval of a third. And then an interval of a fourth from C to F, C, D, E, F. C to G is a fifth, C, D, E, F, G. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. C to A is a sixth, C to B is a seventh, and C to C is an eighth or an octave. Eighth or an octave. So, look at these intervals here and kindly tell me which key do these intervals belong. This is a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, a seventh, and an eighth. But which key do you think they belong to?
F major.
F major because of the tonic and because of the flat.
Yeah.
So this belongs to F major. You're right. So identify these intervals and tell me which intervals they are. The ones that are shown by the red brackets.
Okay.
So this first bracket, the notes are D. Remember this is bass clef. D to G. What is this interval? Is it a first, a second, a third, a fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, or octave?
A third.
A third. How have you counted?
From F.
From F. We don't have F.
Sorry, from which scale is it? Is it not a no?
It is.
This is a scale of a B major. Am I right?
No, you don't even need to know the key. Just count the notes that are involved. Like in this case, the first one is on the line.
Yeah.
So we have line, that is 1, and then 2 space, 3 line, 4 space. So this is an interval of a fourth.
Fourth, okay.
Because when you count from the beginning to the from the lower to the higher note and count everything in between, all lines and all spaces, including the notes themselves, then you get the interval.
Okay.
So this is an interval of a fourth. What about the second interval here?
It's 4, 5, fifth.
Starting from the first, the notes only that are covered by the bracket. Look at these intervals. Look at these intervals that we saw earlier. Are you able to see the image?
Yes, I am.
Look at the second. The second, you count from that C to that D. That is 1, 2. That's a second. The third, you start from that C to the E. C, D, E. That's a third. That is how you count interval. I mean, this is a... this one, the lower note is the tonic, is not true, but at least we get something about the intervals here. This is not the tonic. The lower note is not the tonic always. I just chose any note, any 2 notes. So this is D. Start from D as 1. And then the space above it, see on iko line, this is on the line.
Yeah.
The space above it is 2. The line above is 3. And then the space above is 4. Do you see where the fourth comes from?
Yes.
So let us look at this other pair of notes. Do you see the red bracket? It covers these 2 notes.
Yes, I do.
F and G. F sharp and G. F sharp because of the key signature. So this is...
Yeah.
What is the interval? If you start counting from this F and go to G, how many will you count?
1, 2, kwa space it's 2.
And that note is on the space.
Oh, the second one.
Yeah, we are
So
only
it's 1.
looking at the notes under the red bracket.
So 1 from the line, 2 kwa space, 3 kwa line, 4. Fourth.
Unaangalia wapi? You're looking at the first interval here.
I'm counting from the first note. The very first note.
Hapana, angalia hii red bracket iko huku juu. Unaona red bracket?
Naiona.
Tumeshamaliza hii fourth ya kwanza.
Okay.
So tunaangalia hii interval ya pili.
So I counting from the third note.
Yes, to the fourth note.
1, 2.
Yeah, this is a second.
See the second?
Yes, and what about the last interval, that second last bar there?
Is 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Third.
This is a third. You're right.
Yeah.
Now that is how you count intervals.
Okay.
Now what about this? The first one here, what interval is this?
Mama, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It's a sixth. It's a sixth. Now you know how to count intervals. This is not true. This is not a seventh. This should be a fifth. Fifth, and this is a second. So I think I should also delete the fact that the lower note is always the tonic, because that is not true. The lower note is not always the tonic. So that's it. Sixth, fifth, second. So here the last topic is about the tonic triad. And a tonic triad is made of 3 notes. The notes are usually the first, third, and the fifth degrees of the scale. So look at the scale of C. So if you're told to pick out the first, third, and fifth degree, which letters would you pick?
1, 2, 3. The first and the
First, third, and fifth.
first, I will pick out the C.
Uh-huh.
Third, E.
Mm-hmm.
Then G, the fifth note.
Then fifth. You're right. So when you put them together, you get something like what you see at the bottom right corner.
Mm-hmm.
They make intervals on top of each other looking like this. So this is a tonic triad for G major because they include the first, third, and fifth degree of G major. You will notice something about tonic triad. The bottom note is usually the tonic, and they are usually in thirds. So you find if a first note is on the line, the second one will be on the line, and the third one will be on the line. If the first one is on the space, the second one will be on the space. The first will be on the space, third will be on the space, and the fifth will be on the space. So if you look at the scale of G major, these are the first, third, and fifth degree of G major. Now look at the following tonic triads. They are the tonic triad of D major. So kindly, Anne, tell me the notes, the first, third, and fifth degree.
Okay, we have
the first is the D.
The first one is I count from downwards.
Yeah, so you're not counting the interval, you're just telling me the first, third, and fifth degree that you see here, because already we have written them. This is the first, this is the third, and the fifth degree. There's something I want you to note here. So the first note is...
The first one is a D.
The first one is a D. The second one is?
D. F.
F. And the third one is?
A.
A. So this is the mistake that you made. I wanted you to take note. You said D, F, and A, but the key signature is telling us that all Fs are sharpened and all Cs are sharpened.
Okay.
So the notes are D, F sharp, and A,
F
not
sharp
D.
And A.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't forget, anytime you see the key signature, know that it's affecting everything that comes after it.
All right.
So this is again the scale of D to prove that we have D, F sharp, and A. And then this is how the tonic triad of D will be written without the key signature. Can you see the difference? This one has the sharp here right before F, in front of F.
Yeah.
But the one that had the key signature, we didn't have to write this because it was shown in the key signature.
Okay.
Makes sense?
I've not yet gotten it.
You remember when I told you that this is D, F sharp, and A?
Yes.
Why is this F sharp and not F?
Because we have two sharps on the scale.
On the key signature. We have two sharps, F and G. So the same thing here.
Yeah.
This is the same tonic triad of D major. But without the key signature. Now we are using accidental instead of key signature.
Okay.
So we need a sharp here, because if we don't put a sharp here and there is no key signature, then this will not be a tonic triad of D major, because D major, the rule is that we must have F sharp and we must have C sharp.
Okay.
So if there is no key signature, then this is the correct way to write the triad of D major.
Okay.
Does it make sense now?
Somehow.
Yeah, because if you don't write the F sharp, then it will not be D major. But when you have a key signature, we don't have to write the sharp here again, because the key signature represents all the Fs.
Okay, where is the key signature on the previous scale? Kindly.
On the previous one, here is the key signature.
The two sharps.
Yes. They come immediately after the clef.
Okay. Yeah, I understand. Now I got you.
Yeah.
I got it right.
Okay, so this is again the tonic triad of F major with the key signature. F, A, C, that's the first, third, and fifth. And this is the scale to show the first, third, and fifth of F major. So this is again the tonic triad, but now of C major, C, E, G. And we don't need a key signature because C major does not have sharps or flats.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see if you can find this out. This is, we are attempting to make a tonic triad of F major, but we are missing one note. Tell me which note.
F major, 3, G, A, B, C, E, F. We are missing a D.
We don't need a D for the scale of, for the tonic triad of F. You can use your fingers to find the first, third, and fifth of F major.
1, 2, 3, 4. We need a sharp.
No, we don't need a sharp. This is F major. Remember, F major usually has one flat, B flat. Is that right?
Yeah.
But we are not looking at that. We are looking at the first, third, and fifth degree of F.
First, third,
Fifth.
G, A, B, C, D, E, F.
Hata usiende mpaka F huko juu. Waenda tu mpaka kwa fifth degree. And then
Okay.
F, from F, F is your 1, got up to the fifth degree.
So we have C on the 5th degree.
Yes. What about the third?
A.
What about the first?
The first is F.
So which one are we missing here to make that complete?
G, A, B, C. We are missing a G, A, B, C, F. We are missing F.
Yes, we are missing F. And it should appear like this. This is how it should appear in complete form. Is it making sense?
Yeah, it is. It is.
So which note is missing here to make the tonic triad of D major? Just work out the same way.
C, D.
Tunaanzia D, ni D major, D.
Yeah. D, A, B, C, D. We are missing a B.
We need the first, third, and fifth only. So ukianzia D, usiende mbali, hesabu tu mpaka 5. Count up to 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Take first, third,
Up
and
to
fifth.
5. Our fifth is A is the fifth note. G, the fourth one.
We don't need the fourth one. We just need 1, 3, and 5. First, third, and fifth.
1, 3, and 5. First one is D. Third is F. The fifth is A.
Okay, that's correct. But you made one mistake of forgetting the sharps that D has.
Yeah.
So which one is
So
missing
it's
here?
D sharp.
We don't need a D sharp. How many sharps does the D have?
A D. It has
2 sharps.
It has 2 sharps.
The first sharp is on F, and the other one is on C. You remember that?
Yes.
We have F sharp and C sharp. So the one that is missing here is
an F sharp.
We need an F sharp on the third. That's right.
Yeah.
So this is how it should appear as a complete triad. Tonic triad. And that is it for today. I'll create the quiz and then I will send the link so that you can work on them.